Total Media.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to UMTV today.
And it just got me into listening to a lot of records and just starting off being a DJ. And I was making my own mixtapes with the actual recording, recorder on or whatever, with the tapes or whatever, doing my own mixtapes, doing little parties and stuff like that. And just grew from there and just went into production. And from there, just started doing a lot of things, going to college and doing different things and different markets, and pretty much just start off at a young age.
So now your DJ skills really paid off for you.
Mm-hmm.
106 in Park.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that.
106 in Park was a crazy experience because when I did 106 in Park, I was a judge for Freestyle Friday. If anybody remembers Freestyle Fridays, that's like, and being in New York, all these big, humongous buildings and city lights and stuff like that, until you get there and experience it, you can see it from TV, Instagram, or whatever. But when you get there, it's a crazy type of feeling. The subway and stuff like that. To answer your question, I was on there with Havoc from Mobb Deep. If anybody know Havoc from Mobb Deep, rest in peace, Prodigy. He was a guest as well, judge. So it was me, Havoc, and one other judge, and that just was like a surreal experience. And I also was on Rap City, but on Rap City I had more of a instrumental role as far as being a DJ on there. So I had my own segment to where they would go back and forth, and I would DJ or whatever and play records and go to commercial. So 106 in Park was an experience, but as well as Rap City in the same production studio, but it was 2 different dates I had to go. So it was just like double the blessing to be able to go twice.
Now, just doing that and doing something that you really love and doing it on television and doing it with other celebrities, what was like one of your funnest moments?
I mean, one of my funnest moments, honestly, was from the DJ side. I DJ for a company called National Lampoon, and we did a spring break tour every year. We started out in Vegas. That's how I fell in love with Vegas, because I was in Vegas for a whole 30 days. I DJ'd like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I had the whole rest of the week to kind of get out, rent a car, go see family, check out Vegas. I love the weather because being from Chicago, I don't miss the snow, I don't miss the cold, and I got spoiled. I'm not going to lie, I got spoiled coming out to Vegas here for a whole month. All expenses paid, DJing for thousands of people. If anybody remembers Vegas at that time, it was a club called Rain at the Palms. They had Rain at the Palms. They had another spot called Tao, Sushi Roku at the time. And there's not a lot of things that I had done in that time at different clubs. I actually got to DJ on the side of Beastie Boys DJ as well, and that was like a big guy at the time that I paid homage to. And I DJ for P.D. Pablo and Yin Yang Twins at the time. So it was just a lot of love at the time, DJing. It was a really, really good look.
So you're doing so many other things now. Do you still have an opportunity to DJ?
I'm DJing actually on Power 88. I just actually went back to Power 88 when I was out here in 2008. We did some stuff together as well as far as DJing on the radio, doing mix show DJ stuff. But now what I'm doing with Power 88 is I'm DJing. I'm also doing creative design. I'm doing their billboards, doing, promotional designs, flyers, stuff like that.
Okay, so the DJ stayed, that was your initiation, and it stayed with you.
Yeah.
Now, how did you develop into the producing part of it?
Well, with DJing being my first love, it kind of gave me an angle of being a producer, because you had to produce certain joints that move the crowd, or 100% is like what the ladies love. That's, as a DJ, you knew what records to play. So knowing what records to play is what records you need to produce or try to produce for us commercially. With stuff that I like, that might have been more gutter, more gangster for the guys, I would mix both. So if I want to do certain tracks, I would try to have certain tracks that would appeal to the top 40 crowd for the ladies, but also some of that gutter stuff for my guys as well. So DJing kind of gave me that intuition of what's the best kind of tracks to make, what's the best tempos and stuff like that.
Okay, so we started out DJing, we got into the DJing part, and then we went into the production. Now, you've worked with some pretty good names. CeCe Peniston, Montel Jordan, Dejan.
Jeezy, Lil
Jeezy. That's your...
Ludacris, Chingy, Shauna, just Ruben Studdard, R. Kelly, Do or Die, just a lot of people from the crib, which is Chicago. And it's just... the records that I kind of experienced the most, that I love the most, is homegrown stuff that I used to work with.
Right.
So for people from my actual city I was born in, Kankakee, Illinois, It's a guy named Arrogant. We had a song called Swing On Him that kind of got me more into that Chicago scene. And that kind of one of the songs I was doing for my production before I got on. And it was a good look for that as well.
Well, now you know I'm from Chicago, so you know I got to shout out a little bit there.
Yeah.
And one thing that people overlook is that we have a lot of good music that comes out of Chicago. And people like always look to the East Coast and the West Coast. But the Midwest represents pretty good, don't you think?
And Chicago is that melting pot of everything. But I'm not going to lie, around the time when I was in high school, I gravitated more towards death row stuff. Now, I like East Coast stuff, but I was more into that West Coast vibe because I like the live instrumentation. I like the funk. I like the Dash production. At that time, it was like Dog Pound was really heavy. And my tape deck at the time on my CDs was like death row stuff like 94 through 96. And when Tupac came to death row, it was over from there.
Right.
But I still love Biggie. I still love like the East Coast stuff like the Noriegas and the Mobb Deeps and stuff like that. But from the Midwest, it was more of that funk that I was into when it came to music.
Right. Well, all of it is definitely paid off for you. So let's go to a brief break real quick, and then we're going to come back with more of DJ VUDU SPELLZ.
Yes.
UMTV.
Uncle Mario. Total Media.
DJ VUDU SPELLZ. Now, of course, you know I have to ask this question. What does VUDU SPELLZ mean?
Well, to keep it simple, voodoo, a lot of people look at it as a negative thing, right? First of all, my voodoo, the name voodoo was spelled differently. So it's spelled VUDU opposed to VOODOO. So I use a play on words as, a different spelling of the word, because some words in the English dictionary are spelled a certain type of way, but the other words are spelled a different way that sound the same have a different definition. So in my respect to my name, I learned how to move people through my music. So when I DJ, I sequence my music a certain type of way to make people either angry, sad, hype, or whatever. So I learned how to move people's bodies through music, not in a negative way to where I made them, I have a voodoo dial where you hit the dial or whatever with the voodoo and make it negative, or a spell, I put a positive spell. So my first name was DJ VUDU, but when I look at the trademarks and the copyrights, somebody had DJ VUDU. So it was a blessing that I add the spells to it because nobody had voodoo spells, but then it gives my name a better definition. I put a voodoo spell on people through my DJing and through my production. So if I send a rapper or artist a track, something that they come up with through their brain is a blessing from God as far as my music. My music gives them the intention or a vibe to make a track or make some music. So that's what VUDU SPELLZ means.
And so now tell me, with your music and all the people that you work with, how do you keep a good, different creative process? What is your creative process?
I mean, honestly, I don't like to sound like anyone else, but what I do is I literally make like a gumbo of everything that I like, from the East, from the West, from the North to the South, from country music, from jazz, from hip hop, from even punk rock. Like certain things I listen to, I don't listen to the same thing every day. Honestly, I have to know what's hot to DJ, of course, but a lot of times I listen to jazz in my car because jazz is live instrumentation and it has nothing digital attached to it. So it's nothing mechanical, nothing computerized. It's more or less live instruments that I can listen to and listen to no lyrics. And with production, I focus on the music part of it. If my track can go in the club by itself without no lyrics on it, I know I'm doing a good job because people are tuned into my beat opposed to what's on the hook or what's on the lyrics.
What is your creative process when you're working with all these different celebrities and you're getting your music out there? What kind of creative process do you use to inspire you to get your music out, to get your music produced, to write it? What all do you do with that?
Well, as far as production, I have a big team of writers that I work with and other artists. Some of the artists that I work with that's not in my camp, we also work with other people as far as the creative process. And what I do is we'll either be in the studio vibing with tracks, or I'll send them like a beat pack. It's like a folder, nothing but tracks or whatever, and they'll go through those tracks, and then we'll collaborate together, and they'll take what they have in their brain, and they'll come back to me and say, okay, this is what I have. Most of the artists I work with, I don't have to babysit them. So a lot of those artists, they come with something that I like, and then I'll produce it or I'll polish it up. But usually it's off of them sonically hearing one of my tracks and going from there, or we'll be in the studio and we'll come up with an idea. And usually it's based off of what I produce already. Now I have produced tracks live in the studio with other people, but usually the process starts with me making a track that came from an idea, that came from my soul. And what I do is I take that track and send it out, and they go from there and have that move them from my tracks that they send, like via email.
So now, is it difficult working with celebrities, or is it the same, just working with music?
I mean, with celebrities, you do have egos and you do have creative collaborations that kind of go in a different way, because a lot of people have a certain way they want to have their music produced, or they have a certain vision. But I honestly, knock on wood, haven't had that issue as far as working with celebrities, because a lot of them, like I said, have kind of worked off of the track and the idea they come up with. They're pretty much polished to where I don't have to do too much work as far as their creative content. But what I can say as far as celebrities, it's a different way in respect to homegrown artists, because homegrown artists, you got a chance to give them more of a polish and give them more of a direction, opposed to a celebrity that kind of already knows where they want to go with the record.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I got to touch on this. Being nominated for a Grammy, tell me about that. What was the initial, the meditative? What was it?
I mean, at that point, it was surreal, because like I have a unique story, because I had 2 Grammy nominations in the same month. And it's like, when you start off and your first record, it goes, my first production that I was on officially as far as being a national recorded artist, my first record was Chingy. And that album went like double platinum in less than a year. But then right after that, the Ludacris situation, it was 2 albums. It was a compilation with Ludacris. Ludacris Presents Disturbing the Peace, which had Georgia on there, right? That was Field Mobb. And then first it wasn't Jamie Foxx. It was the original sample of Ray Charles at the time. And what happened was they leaked that record. They wasn't supposed to leak the record, but the DJ was like, F that, we playing this record, right? So they said, okay, we got to switch it up. We got to replay it. We got to do whatever we got to do to clear the sample. They go put Jamie Foxx on the record, right? So that's one record that came out that got a nomination for the 2007 Grammy part of. That's just one record. So I look at this, they send me the form or whatever, they send me the information, and that's one song for best rap collaboration of the year, right? And it's only 3 of the songs besides that song that's on there. So out of all these thousands of songs that's out there, me being a new producer, I'm blessed to get a nomination for my song, right? And the other songs that we're battling against is Nelly featuring Paul Wall, and Jermaine Dupri was Grills. So the Grills, I got to give it up to them. That song at that time was a really hot song. It knocked us out, but the nomination still stands, right? But at the same time, I'm like, okay, we didn't win Grammy for Georgia, so I'm like, man, I'm just blessed to be a part of the situation. But come around, Warning is, Release Therapy by Ludacris is nominated for Rap Album of the Year. So I'm killing everybody now. I'm the only person in my whole situation that can say I'm on a Grammy nominated album for Best Rap Album. I didn't even care about winning, right? But come to find out of all the albums, that was on there, Ludacris wins that year. And my song is the very first song on the album. So if you didn't listen to that song before, or you didn't really care about Ludacris' album, now that the buzz is there, he won his Rap Album of the Year, who they get to listen to first? Me. And at the time, 2 Chainz was on the record, but right then at that time, he wasn't 2 Chainz, he was Titty Boy. So now it's just resurfaced to where it's just a blessing to be a part of the project. And that just blossomed from there.
Wow. Well, that's awesome.
It's crazy.
That is awesome. And that's a lifetime, something that, wow.
And just to add on to that, not to cut you off, just to add on to that, I got chills in my spine because I got to see them perform that record on the Billboard Awards. So not only was it on the Grammys, this is another TV situation that I'm a part of, and I'm sitting back like, I'm at the crib. You know how you watch the Billboard Awards or the Grammys or MTV Awards, whatever, and you just looking, and when you come, they know how they have the host or whatever, and up next, Ludacris, and Bobby Valentino, I think has sung Jamie Foxx part because he was filming a movie. So this is just more star power associated with this record that, you know, I'm getting to see live. They're performing it live on the Billboard Awards. And I'm just going crazy at that point. I can't even believe it.
Wow. Well, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. And I know there's more to come from that. So let's take a brief break really quick. And then I want to talk about you. I want to talk about that with you when you come back. And welcome back to UMTV. And today our special guest, DJ VUDU SPELLZ.
Yo, yo.
So here's my question for you. I know you got projects coming up. What are they?
Of course, we got the 8-year-old, 9-year-old phenomenon, Little Jeezy, doing crazy things. Shout out to the manager, Dadager, Dijon. He's also an incredible artist and writer. That's one of the main projects that we got going on. He's been doing a lot of shows in Vegas, but his project is like a building block. We got about maybe 8 songs. I did about maybe 80% of those songs, but also my son did some production on his album as well. And we're still building that album. He's every song he does, he's get better and better and better. But besides Jeezy, I have another project coming out, my own personal project coming out on Universal. It's called Sexual Troubles Away. It's a single that I'm dropping, and it's featuring an artist, M Status, that I'm working with. I've been working with him for like over 15 years. But it's more of a stepping kind of vibe record. It's more about giving respect to the females and kind of showing appreciation. Pretty much showing that whatever you're going through, we can make love and make it all go away. More or less, it's not a derogatory record. It's not a tasteless record. It's a tasteful record, and it's going to be released probably March or April, probably 2nd or 3rd quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you are very, very busy. I always see you in the community. You're always doing things. Tell me about your hashtag.
Okay, yeah. Hashtag responsible rap. Responsible rap in detail is more, I'm not telling the rappers that they can't talk about this, they can't talk about that. But my thing is, we got to be more responsible with our lyrics and what we're doing right now. We got a lot of things going on as far as these RICO cases, these indictments, people killing each other. We have rappers dying every single week, every single day. And, you know, shout out to, you know, Gangsta Buddha just passed away like the 1st of January. Not saying her raps wasn't responsible, but when you look at your lifestyle and the seeds that you plant, you reap what you sow, what you say, and what you do. It can be via text, it can be via lyrics. And when people out here dying from fentanyl and stuff like this, you know, you have to be careful the kind of message that you're sending to these younger people as far as what's respectable, what's cool to do, what's not cool to do. And when you rap about something, I'm not saying not rap about the bad, but put in some of the good as well. Balance it out. You can say, I killed somebody, and people don't look at that as being shocking anymore. People can say, I'm smoking on whatever, and it's like nobody is shocked about you talking about who you killed. And my thing is, if you're going to talk about something negative, show the positive, but also show the consequences of what happened. We're seeing the consequences of what's happening right now in real time with like the whole Young Thug case and other RICO cases and stuff like that. And I don't want to see, you know, rappers like Dolph get killed and nobody just doesn't care, or these rappers that come up, you like, I don't care about that rapper because I never know he was out before. Every soul, every person, it was somebody's brother, somebody's auntie, somebody's sister, somebody's father, and we got to respect everybody for their death and their life. And the raps and the lyrics, I want people to get back to that point to where we party a little bit more and we show more love to, you know, our mothers and our fathers and give some type of difference. I mean, everything is starting to sound the same to the point where if I was a DJ a party and DJ for some kids from like the ages of 8 to 20 or 8 to 12 or whatever, let's say if I DJ a party for some kids or even a prom, I can't even play the clean version because the clean version, the teachers is like, even the clean version is bad. So as a DJ, I just want people to be more responsible with their raps in respect to us killing each other and the sexual connotations as disrespect to women. Like, it gets to a point where enough is enough.
Wow, it's about time somebody took responsibility and tried to do something about that. And you also are very, very active in your community. Tell me about some of the different projects you've done. I've seen them, but I would like for you to tell.
We got a foundation called Taking Back the Block Foundation, and that's head up by my big brother Robert Straughter. He's one of the first hip hop rappers to run for Congress. And what we do, we go back to the community. We do like Halloween parties, block parties, toy drives, food drives, book drives, stuff like that. And we give these kids a platform to perform at these events. And we also just did the last event was the inauguration of the new sheriff in Las Vegas. We did his swearing in ceremony, and Jeezy performed as well. Some other artists, a little kid named Bibbidi Bop is about 11 years old. And what we do is we just give back, and we try to like go back to where people came from to show that you can make it out of a certain situation. But also inside that program is a program called Hip Hop Entrepreneurship Program. And what that does is it shows kids that within hip hop, there's over 20 to 30 different jobs that lie inside of the hip hop genre that kids can learn how to be a producer, a writer, an accountant, even as much as being a barber. Like, you got a lot of people that don't think, well, I can't make it big. Yes, you can. You can be a stylist. You can be a barber. You can be a person that does somebody's eyebrows. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Nicki Minaj and all these different people have a lot of different people around them that, and her money and her success feeds people. So we want to show people how to own their own publishing, know how to own their own company, how to know the ins and outs of hip hop as far as the music and the business. And what I've heard before that I also delegate for my people and let them know, this business is 90% business, 10% talent. It's not about how hot your record is, and if you feel this should be on the radio, this is a dope record. It's not about that. It's about business. And in this business, if you have the investment to push this car, it's like the music label or your label is a car, but you have to put gas in it. And once the gas is empty, that's it. And that's how the game is. Wow.
You're really doing a lot. So I'm really proud of you, and the community needs it. The community loves you. I see your post out, and I want you to let the viewers know how they can contact you if they're interested in assisting, or, if they want to come to your events. How do they contact you?
Okay, the best way is honestly directly would be to email me, and that would be voodoospellspromo@gmail.com, and it's spelled VUDU SPELLZ as in zebra at gmail. I'm sorry, Voodoo Spells Promo, VUDU SPELLZ promo PROMO @gmail.com. But another way, which y'all kind of see, when I'm online, is my Instagram, which is at Voodoo Spells, and then my Facebook is at Voodoo Spells. Then I have a like page is at Voodoo Spells Entertainment. But when you go on there, you'll see my logo once you type in Voodoo Spells. It's a very unique name, and you'll see it on there.
All right. So now that's how everyone can contact you, and that is also where they can get information on #responsible.
Exactly.
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram is more of the campaign that I'm doing for the responsible rap. And if you #responsible rap, you can kind of search a lot of things that are, detailed on the Instagram and the Facebook. And any of the posts will have responsible rap on there as well.
That's awesome. So with all of that, at the end of the day, do you feel that you've accomplished what you set out to do, or do you feel like you have way more left to go?
I mean, to answer that question, honestly, I kind of get complacent because I've done so much that I feel like I don't want to speak about negative, because I was about to say something negative, but I'm gonna flip it around. No matter how long I live, what I've already done in my life, I've done enough to not do anything else ever again. But I feel like I've never done anything, so it's pressure because I have to continue doing the same thing. But with my son being like 23 right now, and him producing and doing things like that, he's a reincarnation of me. So if I never produce another record, if I just sit back and be the father and executive produce, my son and my daughter are doing their thing, and I've already planted that seed that's going to grow. My daughter just released her first video, and she executive produced that. She wrote it. She did everything on her own because she didn't want dad to be the reason why people say, oh, well, you doing this because of your dad. She wanted everything to be on her own. So my daughter doing music, she doing videos, she doing her own creative content, my son producing. I could just sit back and retire right now and let them do them, and let my foundations, other things I'm doing, blossom and just be behind the scenes. But to me, I just got this eager tendency to want to continue to create. That's why I continue to create. But to answer your question, I feel like I've overachieved what I set out to do. And with my kids, it's just a whole nother level.
Wow. This is the segment where I normally just like kind of let you tell me what you want to tell me about you. But I do want to ask you, in 5 years, where do you see yourself?
In 5 years, I mean, like this is a positive manifestation I want to put out into the universe. I want to continue creating jobs for people through doing what they love to do. So I want to get to the point to where every day I get up, I can do exactly what I want to do in respect to creating and doing things musically, and as far as video as well. I can do exactly what I want to do and live comfortable on a financial level. I don't have to worry about anything except that. I have that privilege to doing that. But also when I talk about creating jobs, I want to continue to create as far as musically, releasing music and having people be able to be content creators, get paid for it, go on tour. Also, anything that surrounds an artist, doing their video, doing a short film, doing tours, just like the Hip Hop Entrepreneurship Program is bringing people to the forefront to be a part of this one artist and having them grow, and doing that for several different artists. Going back to the community and finding artists that need, artist development. And then in a 5-year term, focusing on one project that blows to the point where it brings everybody up at the same time. And then also, I want to get into the situation of, taking back the block in a positive way, as far as going back and getting older properties that can be flipped and brought to life and remodeled to where we can put low income housing into play, and having to where if you have an issue trying to get a house, we have a plan to where you're trying to get on your feet. You can live in something nice and not have to live in something that's beat up, and just grow yourself up and try to find a way to have a good plan to get out of your situation. So, in 5 years, that should be something that's reasonable and realistic.
Wow. And that's very positive. Very, very positive. So tell us something that we don't know about you that we should know or we would love to know.
Me and you had discussed this before, but the public doesn't know, because we agree on the same thing. I'm addicted to cooking shows. Like, I love to cook, but I don't like cooking for people.
Right.
Like, I love to cook for my family, but if you put me on the show and the competition and all this stuff, and then I got people hollering at me and yelling at me and I got to do it in 60 minutes, I'm not trying to do all that. But I love watching those shows, getting ideas and just, learning new tricks, learning about different proteins and different ways to cook things, vegan or whatever. Like, I love cooking shows, and I get to the point where I got to turn this off. I got to do stuff. I got to stop, but I get addicted to it.
It's addictive.
Yeah, other people like reality shows, like, Love and Hip Hop. I'm into the cooking shows.
Okay, so what's the best dish that you've developed from watching one of those shows?
Oh my God. I would have to say homemade pasta.
Really?
Yeah, it's difficult, but at the same time, once you learn it, it becomes a second nature. But I'm not trying to do all the pastas, but I can do my basic stuff, and take it from there and be all natural. Like, as far as, like, let's say Alfredo sauce. My daughter actually put me onto this. She was like, Dad, don't stop buying the can. Stop buying the jar. Do it yourself. So when I learned how to do that, it just gave me a different appreciation for fresh ingredients, and like, it's this one guy that's on YouTube that I also check out. And like for example, yesterday I did a shrimp po' boy, right? I'm thinking I can do that, but I don't feel like doing it. But when I got into doing it, it was so easy. I'm like, I could have been doing this.
Right.
Just knocked it out.
Right. And I think the thing people forget is cooking takes time. And you have to be in a mind frame to do it, just like with anything else. You have to be in a mind frame to do it. Because if you're not, it's not going to come out good. So,
right. Okay,
as we're closing up, I want to give you this opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the viewers. If it's something about you, if it's something about the industry, if it's something just as a message that you want to get out there, I give you this time to do that.
In closing, I want to tell everybody that's inspired to do this, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, do not stop and continue to network and stay positive. And one thing I want you to do is invest in yourself. Bet on you. If you don't have a lot of money to do what you got to do, Focus on somebody that appreciates who you are and what you do, and have somebody to invest in you, because it's not about the music, it's about the business. And once you get somebody to support you and love what you do, you can always get better. Take piano lessons, take guitar lessons, take music theory, go to school for it. But when you know your music is what it is, have somebody or yourself invest in you to go to another level, because at that point, you can't be stopped.
Well, that's awesome advice. So one more time, give your contact information for everything.
Okay, for email, you can email me at voodoospellspromo@gmail.com. That's VUDUSPELLZ PROMO@gmail.com. And then also my social media is at Voodoo Spells, at VUDUSPELLZ. That's Instagram, that's Facebook. I don't be on Twitter as much, but I do have a Twitter, which is Voodoo Spells World. And TikTok is also Voodoo Spells. So those four is pretty much Voodoo Spells. And when you start typing, it'll come up.
All right. And where can they listen to you at?
Power 88. Big shout out to Power 88 Las Vegas. We have Freestyle Fridays at Boulder City every Friday. Most of the time I'm on first Friday, and we lit every Friday regardless. But Boulder Station, Power 88, we're doing it big over there. And much love to everybody in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's been holding me down for forever. My hometown, Kankakee, Illinois. Let's go.
All right. So I want to thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today, sharing your story with us. We've been listening to two-time Grammy accredited producer, DJ, entrepreneur, all-around good guy, DJ VUDU SPELLZ. Thank you so much for coming.
UMTV. Uncle Mario. Total Media. Uncle Mario Total Media is now in the metaverse, and we can bring you in too. Bring your business presence into the metaverse. Let us show you how. Buying virtual real estate, we got you. Setting up virtual stores, we got you. Customized graphics for the metaverse, we got you. Tying your businesses with your Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms, we got you. And much, much more. The metaverse and the real world. Let us show you how to tie them together. Get in now before they drag you in behind.